Hello guys! For us to understand more about Bitcoin, we need to understand what money is, okay? And it's a strange question, what is money? Because it's very normal to us and is one of the oldest human technologies, right? Money is older than writing, We know that money is older than writing because the first writings that we found out were ledgers or Excel sheets, okay? Excel sheets. So John owes to Paul 6. Lucy owes 7 to, right? So they are registers of transactions, right? And so this is kind of interesting. And I want to go with you a little bit on the history of money. First one, okay, we have barter, okay? Barter. Barter is where you have a little box that you have made, right? Very beautiful box, I want, right? I have apples, and then we exchange, right? This was very well known, so people could exchange things, right? Then we move on to something they started being the first abstraction of money, right? Because before, money was things, right? An apple and a box, right? But then we created things like rocks or beads or stones or shells, right? These are things that we created that we have units. And I have 2 rocks, and I'll give these 2 rocks and I'll purchase for this apple, and then I'll get the apple, you have the rocks, and then afterwards you can get one of the rocks and pay for this box here, okay? So then it facilitates transaction because then we have like units, right? But then we move on to the next one, which is precious metals, right? Like gold, right? This is the ring, right? Precious metals. And then from these metals, like silver, gold, bronze, then we moved on to, smaller units of these metals, like coins, and eventually just, part of paper and coins, right? And paper being, the original paper money was just a deposit certificate, Let's imagine you are the bank. I will give you 1 kilogram of gold, and you give me a certificate saying I have 1 kilo of gold with you. And then this certificate I started changing, and that eventually became, paper money, right? And then eventually paper money, then money doesn't stop. Then we move on to plastic money, right? Plastic money, cards, right? This was in the 50s. Now 60 years, 70 years ago, right? Where you could go into a place with your card, and then they would charge you later, okay? And then now the newest form of money, it's network money, like Bitcoin is network money, which is this money that is decentralized in different computers. They're keeping a register of all the transactions, and I can use it with my computer or phone, okay? So this is kind of a little bit of the history of money. And also, I think I wanted to explore with you a little bit about this link here is in the workshop, okay? And in this link, there's this beautiful infographic, which is comparing the world's money and markets, okay? Comparing the world's money and markets. Each one of these squares, okay? Each one of these squares is $100 billion, okay? And so you can see that this is the equivalent of all the silver in the world, okay? All the silver in the world, okay? Here you can see Bitcoin, okay, and other cryptocurrencies, okay? They today are more or less around $200 billion. Then we have military spending, the amount of money spent on military, okay? We have also gold, okay? This is the stock market, okay, where you sell like a Nasdaq or the New York Exchange or Bovespa in Brazil, okay. The debt, okay, debt, the global debt, okay. Real estate, like houses and apartments, this is the value of it, right? So it's interesting to see in this, and you can explore a little bit later on, but it's interesting to see in this infographic that money is a representation of value, right? Money is a representation of value. And we can represent value with paper, right? Or a ownership certificate. This house is yours, so this becomes a certificate. You can exchange that, you can sell that, right? And so it's interesting when we start seeing that money is an abstraction. Today, money is an abstraction of this value, right? And I think Bitcoin comes to solve a lot of problems that we have today. And especially for you that you're watching, there's a big chance that you are Brazilian, okay? And if you are Brazilian, you will remember hyperinflation, right? Hyperinflation. And this is a huge problem, right? And a lot of people lost. I mean, this is not just Brazil, but Argentina, Greece, and a lot of people lost a lot of savings they had in their bank accounts because the inflation was so high, suddenly your money was worthless, right? And so this, I think, is one big problem. In many ways, the network money or Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies can help solve that situation. Okay, guys, I know it's a lot of information, but I hope you have enjoyed this exploration about money, okay? Speak to you soon.